Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a second to kick back on. But yeah, yeah, we're back. Hold on. Let me just check my phone real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything in the interim. Okay. Yeah, we're back. We're back on. We're back streaming. The had a little glitch. Computer crashed and had to reset. But we're back on now, and I honestly can't remember exactly what we were talking about last time. I think it was Amir Khan and Kell Brook or something. But I want to go back to Danny Garcia versus Shawn Porter because I just saw actually a press release just came in that had Keith Thurman's official prediction on the fight, which obviously Keith fought both guys, and he has intimate knowledge of who's the better boxer, who's got the better chin, who's got the better power, all that good stuff. And he did a pretty good job of breaking it down. So V, I wanna go through all the categories that Keith Thurman touched on. And before I tell you what Keith Thurman said, I want you to give me your take. I want you to tell me who you think has the edge in each one of these categories, and then we'll see how that matches up with Keith's prediction.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So let me hold on. Let me pull up Keith real quick. So yeah, he did a quick convo with I believe it was Steve Farhood of Showtime, and they went through all the categories, and Keith had some interesting comments on each one. So we'll just go down the list, starting with punching power. Who do you think is the bigger hitter, Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia?
Let me see. Let me think about this from Keith's shoes.
That's an interesting way. That's an interesting way for you to think about it. Is thinking how Keith would answer it versus what you actually think. This is kind of like Family Feud. 100 people surveyed. Top 10 answers are on the board. What's your what do you think though?
The bigger puncher. I'll tell you where that gets a little dicey. Porter is very, very physically strong, but we know that Danny Garcia can crack. Like Garcia is a big puncher. Damn. If I had to say, I think Danny is a bigger one-punch puncher when he can land his shot. But Porter is strong enough. I think some of the stuff you may not expect to really, really hurt you. If he catch you to the body or whatever, he could. I'm going to say Danny. If I had to pick one, I'm going to say Danny.
You are correct, my friend. Edge, Danny Garcia. That's who Keith Thurman said has the edge in punching power. Actually, Keith Thurman's exact quote is, "Danny can punch with both hands. He does load up, so you can't be right there in front of him." So I think that's a pretty easy pick. Actually, I think most people would agree that Danny Garcia definitely has the better punching power. What's interesting though, V, is that even before you made your pick, you kind of noted Shawn Porter's physical strength, which is actually the second category that they broke down. Physical strength. I assume you're giving the edge to Shawn Porter.
You know what? Danny is actually stronger than people think. But I mean, yes, to answer your question, I do give me personally, I give the physical element to Shawn Porter. But Danny's not a weak guy. Like Dan Swift is actually very strong. What did Keith say?
Keith said the same thing. Shawn Porter. Shawn is clearly the more physical fighter. But why? Why is that just his style? Is that what makes him physically stronger, or is he just legit physically stronger than Danny?
I think that's just his style. He's a bulldog, man. He's in your face. He's in your chest. He's in your ass. He's all over you. Like he's just that guy. And when you're used to bulldogging guys around, and you kind of develop their reputation. So yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be based on his style that the guys view him that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next category, defense.
I think that's a pretty easy one. Porter is wild as hell, but he's a lot easier to catch. I guess the trick with the catch with him, so to speak, is that you can't get caught. Like he's coming in, throwing, and wild as hell sometimes, whatever. So it's a little difficult. But if we're talking defense, Danny can be hit, but he's a better defender. I think he's a little bit harder to hit than Porter would be. I'm sure Keith would agree with that one.
Yeah, actually, he did agree. For the exact same reasons. He said Porter's defense is his offense. With Danny, I've never actually he kind of I'm not sure if this is a compliment or I guess it's a backhanded compliment. He said with Danny, I've never seen anyone so willing to just stare at me without throwing a punch. He's committed to being second, a pure counterpuncher.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually interesting. That well, it's not interesting. I mean, it's actually factual. What he
Yeah,
said.
but that actually is exactly what I was getting at earlier.
That's what I was
When
gonna
he
say.
knows,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when he knows that the return fire is going to come with some heat, I think he takes his foot off the gas a little bit, man. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the things that bothers me with him because he's a durable guy. Like you're not going to hurt him with just anything. But I don't think he takes a chance on his chin enough. Not the fighter should per se, but I hope you get what I'm saying. I don't think he trusts his chin enough.
Actually, that I was going to. You mentioned that earlier when you were talking about Danny. Not living up to his abilities and whatnot. Do you think that Yo, did I just see? Hold on a second. I might have to call you, Stacey Mayweather. I see you on here in the chat room, Stacey. I see you. I might have to give you a call. We gotta get Stacey Mayweather. In case you guys don't know, Stacey Mayweather is actually related to Floyd. Very, very, very knowledgeable in boxing. Very knowledgeable in boxing. I definitely want to get him on the show one of these days. But we might have to wait till next time just because I don't know if he's set up for Google Hangouts yet. But anyway, back to you, V. You do you think that because he is such a counterpuncher and he does have a tendency to wait, do you think that is working against him in these fights? That maybe he's just waiting too long to pull that trigger?
Well, that's actually why I said that I don't think this is going to be as easy a victory for him as some people seem to think. He's clearly the better pure boxer between the two, but his reluctance to throw punches at times against a guy who we know will throw punches and is going to be very, very busy, very aggressive. I think that just gives Danny a lot more time to go into his shell. Like Danny's not going to be the aggressor. He's not. So I think that can put him at a disadvantage. I mean, how many fights have we seen where the judges will go the other way because the guy who we thought was going to win didn't do enough? We saw that with Erislandy Lara a lot. We see that with other guys. So Danny's not going to win by virtue of being Danny. He's going to have to find a way to go out on the limb and get out of his comfort zone and pretty much walk in the lion's den because that's what he's going to be in against a guy like Porter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about speed? Who do you give the edge to in speed?
Hey man, you know what? This might surprise some of you. Um, that's an interesting question, man. Danny's not a very fast. He's not a fighter I would equate to fast. Neither is Porter, but Porter throws his hands more. So if we're talking pure speed from this point to that point, I think I might probably go Danny, but I'm a little reluctant to because Porter will hit you first just by virtue of him being willing to do it. So that's kind of a trick question if that makes sense. Danny is probably quicker, but Porter would hit you first because he's gonna do it without thinking first.
Yeah. Well, Keith actually gave the edge to Shawn Porter.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
According to Keith, Shawn is faster and a little more athletic. He'll
Yes.
triple up on the jab to get inside and use stutter steps. He said Danny's real relaxed, but that doesn't necessarily come through in his hand speed. So yeah,
Yeah.
he actually thinks Shawn Porter has got the edge in speed, which I'd give him that. It makes sense.
Yeah,
What about boxing ability?
I think you got to go Danny there. Easy one. Danny's definitely the better boxer. Shawn beats you with style. His style is just very difficult to conquer for some guys. You got to be really poised, and you have to be not only poised, but like you have to be very comfortable in your position to handle a guy like that. So yeah, I think that's an easy one to call.
Yeah, that's pretty much it's pretty much what Keith said. He gave the edge to Danny Garcia. He said neither one is known for boxing. Damn, that's kind of
That's interesting.
that's kind of messed up. Neither one's known for boxing. That's one of those backhanded compliments again, I think.
Sounds like you got a lot of those for Danny.
Right? He said neither one is known for boxing. Danny's a counterpuncher, and Shawn outworks you. Danny has nice boxing movement when he wants to be evasive, which that's a good point, especially when he fought Robert Guerrero. He said he's underrated when he's on his back foot. We saw that against Lucas Matisse and Brandon Rios.
Very good point there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Matisse fight showed me everything I needed to know about Danny. What sucks is he put that version of him in his back pocket and hasn't pulled it back out. I don't get it.
Yeah. All right. Next category is ring IQ. This is a tricky one.
I think that goes back similar to one of those other questions we answered. Danny, I think naturally he's the better boxer, so you probably look at him and say he has a higher ring IQ. But the flip side is that Porter is doing so much more, and he's successful with a lot of it. So you got to ask yourself, I mean, who has the higher ring IQ? A guy who can slowly, methodically pick you apart and land his shots, or the guy who can do it at a rapid fire, who's always on the go and doing something busy as hell. So I'm gonna say Danny, but I'm gonna skirt the fence here a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go the other way. Who'd he go with?
Actually, that's funny. He said it's even. He said it's even. He said it's hard to judge. He said it's hard to judge.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, both of them have strengths. Danny can pick you apart and do it in a more methodical way. So he has the ring IQ. But I mean, for a guy that's as aggressive and as busy as Porter, like you're thinking when you're doing all of that stuff. And he has a method to the madness. He's effective with it. So you can't say that it's a negative for him. It works for him. So yeah, that's interesting to hear him say that after fighting both, though.
Yeah, he said it's hard to judge. These are two world champions with tremendous amateur pedigree. So it sounds like he was, given the politically correct answer. Didn't want to hurt either one's feelings. What about Chin?
I think you got to go Danny there. We've seen Porter touch the deck. Danny, we have not. And Danny's been banged by some pretty good punches. I think Lamont Peterson's an underrated puncher. I think some of the other guys he fought were pretty decent punchers. But like I said, we've seen Porter touch the deck. So I'm gonna go with Danny on that one.
Actually, once again, Keith Thurman said it's even. He said,
Wow.
He said in my fights Porter took more. He said in my fights Porter took more big punches than Garcia did. I had to hit hard to keep Porter off me. They both have enough power to hurt each other. So, yeah. That's interesting that I don't... I actually thought that... I mean, don't get me wrong. He nailed Shawn Porter with some hellacious shots. But I actually thought he hurt. I thought he hurt Danny Garcia early in their fight. I thought he actually tagged Danny with a good shot that kind of made it... it didn't... He didn't wobble, but I thought he did just a little bit of a two-step. Danny Garcia did, and he definitely backed off of Keith when that happened. So I actually probably would slightly give the edge to. Well, but again, you like you said, we have seen Shawn on the deck against Adrien Broner late in that fight. So maybe it is even. Maybe it's about even between the two.
Well, anyway. I tell you what the difference might have been though, because Broner's a much faster puncher than Thurman and Garcia. And they always say it's the punch you don't see coming that hurts you the most.
Mm,
Maybe just the fact that he didn't see that one coming, because if you look back at that shot, I could see that one in my mind like it happened last night. He
yeah.
nailed the shit out of Porter with that.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to Broner, because that's the side of Broner. Unfortunately, we only see when it's too late in most of his fights. But uh, yeah, I mean, maybe that was the difference. It came with the type of velocity that he didn't pick up on, and it just caught him off guard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who do you think Thurman's final pick is? It's definitely not draw.
Hmm. I think man, you know what? I lean Garcia myself, but styles make fights, man. And Porter's style, toughness, I think all of that can make an issue for Danny, man. I don't know who. I'll tell you the truth. I think Thurman had a tougher fight with Porter than Garcia, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him lean Porter. I just don't think he will. Who did he go with?
he said. He said this is one of the best matchups of the year. I try not to overthink it. It's Porter by decision or Garcia only by KO. I lean towards Porter. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
And you know what? Judging by the fights they had with him, I could totally see that
Mm-hmm.
because he gave Thurman hell. He
Mm-hmm.
really did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can. That's that. I don't. I actually. I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised that he picked Porter. Um, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch some old interviews. I feel like I remember him talking about this potential fight before it got made. I feel like I thought at one point he was actually favoring Danny Garcia. So I'm wondering if maybe he saw something or if there's maybe a reason why he's leaning more towards Shawn Porter now. Um, but I do think it's interesting that even though he says Danny Garcia has the edge in boxing ability, he's saying the only way Danny Garcia can win is by knockout, which to me is like, well, I mean, I don't if he's a better boxer, can he win by
No, but
outboxing?
see, no, no, no. Let me say this, and this is what I was getting at on the broadcast earlier.
Mm,
When you got a guy that's as busy and active, plus is strong, is Porter, against a guy who doesn't like being physical. He never handled physicality well.
mm,
I just think even though Danny Garcia is the better boxer, styles make fights, like we say all the time. And this is not a good stylistic matchup for him, man. Look, here's how simplified I can make it. If Shawn Porter fights the type of fight where he a phone booth fight, where he smothers Danny Garcia and
mm-hmm.
just doesn't give him room to get off his shots, I could see him coasting to a fairly easy decision too. To be honest.
Wow, fairly easy. Wow.
Look, what? Okay, so let me say why I say that. Clearly, I agree that Danny's the better boxer, but what does Danny have to answer a guy that physically strong in his chest?
Mm,
He really doesn't. He
mm-hmm.
fought. One thing Thurman mentioned that was a very good assessment is that Danny fights well off of his back foot. But I mean, hell, how far can you go on your back foot when you're being pushed to the ropes by a guy who's just that much stronger than you? Probably, if he stays in close and keeps him on those ropes and just doesn't give Danny much space, I think Danny has a long night, man.
Yeah, 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 definitely. I mean, listen, anytime you're in with Shawn Porter, you're in for a long night. I mean, that's just factual. Somebody said we're talking down on Thurman. You think we're talking? I'm not. We're not talking down on
I
Thurman.
didn't.
What are you talking
No,
about?
I didn't see that comment. But whoever said that, yeah, and nobody's talking down on Thurman at all. I actually think that he's an interesting person to get the scoop from, being that he fought both of them.
Yeah.
But I don't have nothing bad to say about him as it relates to this. Now, if you want to get into some bad talk about Thurman, I hope you listen. And Thurman need to get his ass back in the ring. He's not representing Florida too well right now. He's a Florida boy,
if
and I
if
pull for him, but he needs to get back in the ring.
if this
I
was
know you got your beautiful young lady now, Thurman. I'm loving it for you, man. Love is a beautiful thing. But ask her to gently sit to the side for the evening while you come and put in that work so y'all have some more money to play with, bro.
If this was 5 years ago, then V definitely would have been talking down on Keith Thurman. But no, this is not 5 years ago. This is now V has seen him in with some other talent, so he can speak about him. But yo, you think that's the case? You think his marriage like may have had something to do with him? You don't. I mean, are you not buying the injuries and whatnot? You think maybe he's lost his taste for the sport a little bit, Thurman?
Look, let me answer this one like this. We were just talking about Marvin Hagler and the whole whoever it was. We mentioned the whole silk pajama theory. Silk pajamas is one thing. When you got silk panties next to you in the bed every night, newly married, whatever, hey, he's happy with his position. And you know, I'm being funny about it, but the reality, like I said, man, love's a beautiful thing. I'm sure that he's settling into marriage life and he's loving it. And you know, he and Miss Thurman, you know, got a lot to look forward to, whatever. But I just think that this is one of the perennial talents in the sport who had a hell of a future and basically just stopped. Like we don't really know the specifics. And I'm not gonna say the injury wasn't real, but it's been a couple times where we've kind of questioned what was really popping with Keith. I just want to see the brother get back in the ring and do what we know he can do. That's it. You know, whether it's marriage, whether it's comfort in marriage, I mean, whatever it is, I just think that we need to see him get back to being the best or one of the best welterweights in the world because he got it in him.
I mean, I think he was legitimately hurt. I mean, I definitely think he was injured. The Danny Garcia. I know even going into the Danny Garcia fight, he was injured. But oh look! I got my man. Stacey Mayweather. He was able to connect.
I had to get it. I had to get in on this one.
V, I
got a little disagreement.
Okay, hold on, Stacey. We're gonna get to you real quick. V, I don't know what happened to your video. Your video it looks like it disappeared. I don't know if you dropped out on purpose or not.
I still see him. I still see him.
Oh, okay. It's just my computer, so don't worry about it. But Stacey, Stacey. Now
What's up, Stacey?
What up?
Now you guys know each other. But Stacey, before you pop in with your disagreement and your breakdown, please let the fans know exactly who you are. Let them know your credentials. Let them know your knowledge about the sport of boxing. I don't want people thinking that you're just some average Joe jumping on here that doesn't know anything.
Oh, I go way back from the beginning. Roger, Big Floyd. My father was Robert Tucker, which is Tony Tucker. Mm-hmm. Father, which taught Big Floyd. So both sides of my family. But at the end of the day, it's not the gospel. It's still boxing.
True.
It's all our opinion.
True. So what do you think, Stacey? Like, what do you? I mean, I saw you were in the chat room and everything. I mean, first, before you give your official breakdown.
What y'all like just now first?
What's that?
What topic was y'all on just then? Because y'all was going from topic to topic.
Oh yeah, no, we were just talking about Keith Thurman and why he's been out the ring for so long and is he really injured? Is it his marriage? Has he lost the love of boxing and this, that, and the other? I don't know. What do you want to touch on first?
Man, I got in too late, man. I'm talking about Saturday, man.
I'm
more excited for this.
We can rewind. We can rewind. We'll go back.
Because I want to touch on some things he was saying about us in his busyness.
Who was saying?
Danny. Now you got to think.
Okay.
Danny whole fight style, he wants you to come to him.
Mm-hmm. True.
So it's going to be interesting.
You keep saying it's going to be interesting. Who do you like?
Stacey, let me ask you this. When you say he wants you to come to him, I would agree with that to an extent, but one thing that we can also agree on is that Danny isn't always, I don't think Danny takes the physicality too well either. Lamont Peterson fight showed us that. Lamont is a little bit more poised and he's more methodical with his approach. Porter is aggressive and crazy as hell. Like he's just gonna hit you from any angle.
Yeah, so that's what make it interesting because that may play into his hands. opposed to, because you know what I'm saying. Like to me, I think you honestly, no disrespect to Danny, because I like him. I pick him for this fight, but I think you could beat him with a jab.
I think so too.
I think you could beat him
agree.
with a jab, and I don't think that's going to be Porter's approach. I think that if you put hands on him, he gets stronger. You know, like because Matisse was on him, so he is forced to fight. But it's a lot of because at first I ain't gonna lie, I was on the knockout for Danny. Now the closer we get, I'm like, and then Shawn Porter, I seen a videotape and he had like 3 trainers there. I'm like, I don't know if sometimes that's not good.
Well, Stacey, real
Shane
quick.
Mosley with this and the Shane Mosley with the.
Well, Stacey, real quick though, in Shawn's defense, he really, it's just been Kenny that's been doing all the training this entire camp. Barry just came in.
Good.
Barry and Shane just came in this last week more as motivation.
Okay,
so they really didn't do any training.
I love the fight. Like, it'll come to a point of what I would bet my money on because, like he said, I don't know what he's going to do with a Shawn Porter like in front of him. But then again, I know that he's precise, so he gonna land that hook. We all know that. Even if his eyes closed, it's gonna land.
So let me ask you this though, Stacey, and I think probably he will. But that hook is a lot more effective, and I think we could agree on this. The hook is a lot more effective against a stationary target. I don't know that Porter's going to – I'm sorry, say that again?
And at 140.
Yeah, well, definitely. And don't forget, Porter, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, campaigned as a middleweight as an amateur. This is a big guy, and that's why he's that much stronger. So I don't know that he's going to land it flush enough to keep Porter on the deck with it.
Because he's
smothered. And if Porter gets back up, he's not going to taper his game. He's going to fight. Like if there's ever been a guy willing to go out on the shield, it's Shawn Porter. So he's going to shoot his beat him. Shot. Yeah, well, that's why I think he has a hell of a shot in this fight, more so than people think. And I'm actually surprised to see Keith Thurman went that way. But considering how he gave Thurman hell, I think it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes like Floyd sometimes would discuss different fighters. I think it's sometimes the fight, just how the fight went. You know what I'm saying? It could have, like, Porter's style could have played more into his hands to him, so it appeared easier. Because what's his name to me was more technical. That was more of a technical match with him and Danny Garcia and Thurman. It's like it was more technical, you know, shots and catching little combinations there, different defense, opposed to, like you said, getting out your comfort zone. That could have played into his hands better because Thurman can't box. No matter what they say, they think he or not, the boy could fight because these two boys could fight. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was going with Danny, but the further the fight go, I'm like, damn, the longer this fight go, might go more into Porter's hands. The longer it go, because he's not going to get tired. Man, I don't judge him getting dropped by
Broner
based on, like you said, he was walking around the middleweight and he was fighting at, 144 that fight?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that could play a part. But it's interesting, man. But I'm still had to go with Danny, man.
Wow.
I had to go with Danny, man. I mean, it's probably because I'm a Mayweather and I go with the boxing, man. I just think he's a better boxer. And sometimes I play into your hands because Porter, I like him. But and this is crazy to nobody say, but I think that he's a better boxer than he put on. So to me, if he come out boxing and get caught and he starts smothering, my thought is, I don't know if that's so much of his style or if it's what he do when he get hit hard. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you watch the Thurman's fight, he was actually boxing pretty well. But when he got hit with that hook real good, it became the Porter style. I'm like, no, the dude could box, though. I told him that to his face, too. I said, man, you really can box more than people think. When he used, you know, like you said about his power punches, people think he don't have power, but when you smother your punches, you can never tell. But if he catch you with it from a right distance, I mean, he's obviously got some power. But I just think he's a stronger man, and like you said, that like to me when they say Cotto versus Floyd, and then another fighter this strong against him, and they say, well, who hit the hardest? I'm like, I don't know if you can say the stronger man is the person that hit the hardest all the time because. He may be precise and he may, you know, be what, but
Exactly.
You look at bro, what's the name? That 12 rounds of him doing that to you, it might be tough on a person coming from 140. So it's just weird. I've never seen nobody smother him. So I don't know what he's gonna do because I've never seen him in no fight like that. So it's so
Well,
interesting.
that's exactly what makes this one interesting to me. If anybody, look, let's think about what Peterson was able to do with Garcia. He was able to he didn't smother him, but he was able to get to the body. He was able to do some of that stuff. And he's nowhere near as physical. I won't say that because Peterson actually is fairly physical for a finesse guy, but
Right.
he's not Shawn Porter. And he definitely, I don't think you could say he's as strong as Shawn Porter. So yeah,
Right.
man. Danny Here's the thing: we saw Danny look beautiful against Matisse. He's gonna have to be that version of him against a much bigger and stronger guy, and we haven't seen that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, fellas.
It's a good one though, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's a treat for me. It's September. We got to get some. We got a couple good ones in September.
Well, Stacey,
I'm more excited for this than Canelo, man.
wow, more excited. Why are you? Well, hold on. Why are you more excited for this fight than Canelo Golovkin?
Because it's setting the table for something. But that table is set. We've seen it, and it's. I think it's gonna be interesting. But I pretty much see the same fight with a little more sharpness.
Who did you have winning the first fight?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
How is that a tough question?
I'm gonna go with a draw, man. It sounds crazy because my family said don't go with it. I ain't gonna say I go with a draw, but say that I respect the draw based on. Oh, nobody's gonna like this, but they could have easily came to Canelo and went about their business.
Right.
I agree.
I thought it was a legit draw. I thought it was a legit draw.
You put the power into what's the name, and to me, he got room to learn. So good luck on the second time around, because usually the second time around, it's almost like a award in what's the name situation we might have here. It's possible. Because I don't think Triple G is going to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think now, what's funny, and that's how I know that's got to be true, because everyone is saying that. Like, even the Golovkin supporters are admitting there is no other gear to Golovkin. Like, we know what he does, and
he's 38 now?
36.
I mean, he's stuck in his ways, man. It's been working for him.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Canelo going to have a couple tricks up his sleeve.
Yep.
Which might work in his favor, or it may be a reason he fought the fight that way the last time. So that's interesting too. But the Danny one is so interesting because it's so many things can happen after this belt getting these hands, and it's just getting to the bottom of reigning supreme at 147. You know what I'm saying? It's like it seems like it's you got Arrow there, you got what's the name on the other side of the fence, but he's there. Crawford. It's interesting other people in there. We're not going to even get into the Mikey conversation. I understand it. They need their money, but I don't want him in that mix. But
Pacquiao still floating around out there?
Yeah, he's still floating around there. And surprisingly, probably will beat a couple of these fellas that everybody think he won't. You'll be surprised.
I'm with you on that one.
So it's like this fight right here is like it's cleaning up some stuff that we won't clean. Thurman out the way. I mean, not out the way, but I mean, no, I like Thurman, but I don't know what's going on with Thurman. So we can't really.
Well, what do you think's going on with him? Like, is it legit? Are they legit injuries? Is it because he got married?
And maybe he got hands worse than Mayweather's, man. I don't know, man. I thought we had the worst hands in the business, man, but maybe I'm wrong. Because Roger, Big Floyd, everybody had broken heads. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a Derrick Rose situation. He tried to go back too hard in the gym, or it could be a combination of all of it. Or I don't think it's fear though. I don't believe it's fear. I'll put that on the record. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But I hope he hurry up. But I think that if he do 3 years off and these dudes just practicing with each other, that's going to be one crazy gear to go into.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while, even if he come back. How many tune-ups you think he'll get?
Just one.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he going to need 2 for both injuries. And, you know, he like money, so he ain't gonna want no light tune up. He gonna want a tune up that's gonna make him want to knock him out. So,
yeah.
I mean, hopefully he get better. But man, to be honest, my real thoughts of it, I'm like, man, he may never be, and he may never recover right at this point. You know, so person got to start thinking of that.
Well,
I'm cutting him out the.
Who would you put him in if you were handling Keith Thurman's career and you knew he had these injuries and you want to get him back in and just, you know, I mean, you just mentioned he's going to need two tuna. Who would you like to see him in with when he does come back?
Oh, like a nice name. This is so. I'm not being disrespectful.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a nice name. Just like who would be the smart
I'm gonna go
person?
with a nice name since everybody else could do it. Since everybody else 147 could fight 135 pounders, I'm gonna go ahead and say, man, I come straight for Mikey Garcia if I was that.
Wow, really?
Straight for him. I would cut what's name right out the deal right now. Arrow will be cut right out the deal. Like, sorry, brother, I got to get this money.
Wow.
147, man, that's big, man. Them boys big, man. You got to think. Keith Thurman fought at 154 before, so
yeah, Keith Thurman's a big guy.
He a big boy, man.
But you don't think that's a dangerous fight for not Mikey, but Keith Thurman to come back off of injury to fight a guy like Mikey? Mikey, I'm not saying Mikey. There's the danger of getting knocked out, but Mikey could outbox him and
hey, I don't cut. I tell you know, you don't tell them who my family is now. They said he was a little dude. Floyd went out and fought Marquez now. After 2 years now, nope. You going in there. 135, come on up.
Keith Thurman.
135.
Keith Thurman is
135. Come on up. 135? Come on up, man.
Man, Keith Thurman is not Floyd though, Stacey. Come on now. Come on now. You know better.
Hey man, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. You think I'm wrong, my man? What? No, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, let me say this. We talking first fight back?
First fight back after the long injury.
Let me say this, and this actually might throw you for a loop, Ben. But to keep it real, I wouldn't suggest a lot of guys put themselves in that situation. But I will say this: if there's one guy with enough technical skill to do that, I would say one young, smaller guy is Mikey. I think Mikey has enough toughness and ring IQ to give a good account in that fight. And to keep it real, if Thurman can't land that big shot I got to look at some of the intangibles, the reach. I know Thurman's bigger, whatever. But I'll tell you what, though, I don't think that's a really bad fight for Mikey either.
I don't think it's a bad fight for Mikey. I think it's a bad fight for Keith Thurman to come back from injury from. I mean, that's a risky fight. Okay. That's a risky fight.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm gonna tell you my reason.
I took your position the opposite way, Ben. I thought you were saying it would be suicide for Garcia. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, now, my reason for saying that is, I mean, I don't think he could come back and fight nobody.
I was thinking more like go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Brandon Rios.
There you go. I was thinking. Rios, there you go.
I go to Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios.
I would say
he got to fight Rios. A name because he had 2 titles. So you're an elite fighter. You're undefeated. So you're gonna get paid good when you come back. So we want our money's worth. But yeah, you're right, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, Mikey might be a problem for anybody now. When we go into the Mikey and what's the name situation, which I'm pretty sure may happen or may not happen, but I'm sorry. I like Mikey and I like him a lot. Whatever he exposed, man, I think he gonna expose just as much as Brooke did and Amir Khan did against them big boys. I just think that's just a little too much to chew because it's one to fight a big dude, but that's a big, powerful dude with skills. He, from what I mean, I think that Mikey, he don't like to really do stomach exercise, right?
Nah, he don't.
I suggest he do that. I suggest he do a lot of those because he going down there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I like the Brandon Rios fight. I think that's a good one. I was thinking maybe Andre Berto. That might not be bad. That might not be bad. Although it might not be a good fight because I think they're friends. I think Keith and Andre Berto are good friends. So might not happen. But I was thinking that or hell, if he really wants to get froggy, anybody can get it. He could fight Adrien Broner.
That would
Man, he
be
might hurt his
interesting.
hand again. He might hurt his hand on Adrien Broner. They can say what they want about Adrien, man. He ain't going down too easy, man.
No,
A
he's
tough
not.
cookie, man. His head hard as a brick, man. He been done broke his hand on
Bro,
that man.
no. Let me give you the rundown on Broner. Broner got every skill he needs to be successful. The one thing Broner's missing at times for whatever reason is the courage. Like I don't get it. Sometimes he fights like he doesn't have talent. And it's crazy because he does. If he let his hands go and actually fought like we've seen him earlier, that DeMarco fight, some of them other fights, dude,
Yeah.
Broner could be the can man. He could be a problem for everybody. We just don't get that version of him, and I don't know why.
Stacey, actually, let me ask you, just because I know you always keep it real and you have a unique perspective because you do actually see these guys a lot. You've hung out with them and whatnot. What is missing with Adrien Broner right now? Like, what is it you think he needs to do? I mean, he's switched up his trainers. He's down in Florida training with Kevin Cunningham, and it still seems like he's missing something to get him over that hump. I mean, it's, someone with Adrien Broner's talent probably should not have fought Jesse Vargas to a draw. So can you look at him and kind of figure out what is missing or what's changed about him?
My thing is, it's my honest opinion. I think it's the social media. I think that changed a lot with him. I think that the fact that he cared about what people think and stuff like that, because I watch his page and sometimes I DM him, but he never really hit me back. But I DM sometime when he have pictures with his kids and stuff like that. Like, dude, you should worry about that. And you know what I'm saying? Focus on your boxing, because at the end of the day, like, even now, and I'm going to be real, like, he's still the person to beat to be a face.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he lose, you got to beat him down, and nobody can't seem to beat him down. So that's what frustrates you about him. Because like he said, like, man, you could have just did this or that. And it's like, he know he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I can't really say a certain thing.
Is he not putting in the work though? Is he not putting in the work in the gym though? Is the work in the gym missing? Is it like
I don't think that's it, Ben. Honestly,
when I seen him in the Mayweather gym,
and
he worked like a bull. He worked like an animal. He get his weight
honestly, I don't think it's that at all, guys. The reason I used the word courage earlier is because honestly, that's exactly what the hell it is. When you got a guy, put it this way, you got a guy who's going to combat. He got the machine gun in his hand. He see the enemy, but he won't pull a trigger. That's Broner. Like, Broner got every tool in the proverbial tool belt.
That's a mental thing. That's a mental thing.
I think so. What the hell else can we call it?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
and that's why I broke. That's why I said the internet, even though, like, what they got to do with it, because it's like, like Floyd always said, chances make champions. It's like, he don't take them chances, probably thinking, well, I'm worried about what these people think because I have these followers. And sometimes you got to go out there and, like he said, let the gun go. You got it. Because if he hits you, he can hurt you when he swing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He don't be tired.
Nope.
It's like, so it's just, I don't know if it's this easy to him or something, because I'm yet to see, even in my Maidana fight, and a lot of people got to watch that fight. I said, y'all watch that fight, and he was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, and that was a different version of Maidana for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting into why, but I don't know, but he didn't seem himself. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think nobody else would have made the 12 rounds with him that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting tough, but he was in there with a different type of animal. But he tough. But it's just, I don't know if it's too easy. I don't think that he has the love for it like he used to.
I agree.
Because I see a lot of these young fighters, and I was surprised until I was out here in Vegas with Mayweather Gym, and people from Ohio was telling me, like, oh man, like in Ohio, he was like Floyd Mayweather. We're a hard worker. He's about his business, about when it comes to boxing, like that's what he was about. So sometimes, that social media and surrounding yourself with the wrong people sometimes can play an effect in that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's all mental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's all mental, and that's for him. And we go back and track to any fighter that is just involving themselves in social media. You see it in their performance, and then you see the ones that's not in the social media, and you see their performance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Compared to opponents, you're like, wow, because they focus on what they're supposed to do. Like,
Yeah, well, you know what? To your credit, I can remember Kobe Bryant making a comment about that. I don't remember. I don't want to paraphrase it and get it wrong, but basically, like if you're dedicating so much time to what other people are saying about you, you're basically not confident in your own skill set enough to get beyond what those people are saying about you. So Broner, I could totally see being the type of guy who would be worried about how people going to shit on him on social media if he takes an L. Like I could see that. Now think about somebody like a Mayweather or an Andre Ward, guys who will look at social media, have fun with it, but they like the last thing they're doing is worried about what somebody on there is saying. You know what I mean? Look in the NBA. I mean that's what you could say separated Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Kevin Durant made a fake handle just to shit on people who shitted on him. You think LeBron is worried about me saying he's a flopper? No. So
right.
I think Stacey just hit pay dirt right there.
Like,
it absolutely makes a difference.
Floyd was boxing. He gonna win the fight convincingly, but not about not taking chances. As he was older, he's like, man, I'm finna win this fight decisively. I don't care if they get. I probably can knock him out. No, the job is to win this fight. I can't damage my brain for you, but like that go back to this thing that I was saying to somebody within the Mayweather gym, and like I said, I don't put people's name out there, but they do their training. Next thing you know, they be at the corner, they looking at Floyd, and you know when he's sparring, or they look at the next person trying to be a coach. I always say you're gonna know a real champion when you see him come in and take care of his business and get the fuck out of there. The new world, everybody want to be on social media, wilding and coming in the gym trying to be coaches. I was always told, my father told me, a fighter should be dumb, not as a human being, but when they come to, you don't supposed to be all into this business and trying to be a promoter and trying to do this, that, and the other. When you're young, you got to focus on being great first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, and maybe that's lost out the sport or something, but it's just different. And then, you know, it seems like he's forced to promote himself. So that probably don't help because half the time you got to do all this stuff to sell his tickets because nobody's promoting them. So it's so crazy compared to when I was young and ABC and HBO and we had commercials and everybody knew about boxing. Yeah. You know, now they know about a lot of these people don't know them from boxing. They know them from the internet.
That's true.
Very good point.
That's very true. That's very true. Yo, Stacey, I don't think I've ever asked you this question, or maybe I have, and we just kind of talked about it. But just because you have been in the gym and you've seen a lot of fighters come and go and this, that, and the other. What was your favorite Floyd Mayweather fight?
I got a couple, but I like the Justin Juco.
Really?
Yeah, I like the Justin Juco, man, because at the time, it just, I don't know, it seemed like if you watch that fight, you know how Floyd mastered the shoulder, you'll see him actually mastering it during that fight. It's crazy. Like, he evolved in that fight. And then I think I liked the weird one. What's the boy name? I think it was his first fight. Sambe Mitchell. He fought Roger, too. I liked that fight because that was when, you know, which they never give him credit for, when Floyd just walked towards him all day. Like, it was fighters that he walked down. And it's when he gets into the Floyd conversation, it's so funny because he gets so much slack from things that I see people get handed to him easy. It's crazy to me. Like, it's crazy to me.
You think guys got it easier now than when Floyd was fighting?
I know they're making a lot earlier and not doing them.
I think so. But it may got something to do with the time because so is rappers. Rappers are worse and they get paid more. So, but
singers too. Yeah, good point.
You know, rappers are worse to me, but it just seems like it's just, you know, more money just floating around and stuff like that. To be honest, to be quite frank, like it seemed like the across seas over there, it seemed like they doing the stuff the old school way or something. They whole country still, you know, where they're at, they are in the boxing because it's a big thing over there. You know, it's like we spoiled. You know what I'm saying? We don't got spoiled. Right. You know, and it's too many championships to me, and I don't understand how that's going on. Like, everybody fights for a title. That's why I said this fight is so big, because I'm like, oh no, this finna show some type of dominance.
Yo, Stacey, were you in Cincinnati when Floyd came in town and saw Adrien Broner? I think that was the first time he ever saw him fight, but he definitely saw.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Were you were in town for that?
Yep, he had the whole family come out.
Yeah. So you were up there when I was filming.
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your cousin was interviewing you.
Yeah.
When he got your stuff and said, "Let me do the interview."
Yeah. Yo, just when you go back to that time, and because I assume that was probably the first time you saw Adrien Broner fight live too. Is that right?
Yeah. To be honest, yeah.
How much do you think his mentality? Because I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was the first time that Adrien and Floyd had met and really started to get to know each other and whatnot. I think prior to that they didn't really know each other, but the media and fans were trying to make the comparisons. Oh, he's the next Floyd Mayweather and whatnot. Just going back to that time up until now, how much do you think Adrien Broner has changed as a fighter or as a person? Like has his mentality changed at all, or is he still pretty much the same person you remember from back then?
That Pacific fight it's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, had the mother of his child come out there and made the joke on her that he was going to get married, and
yeah.
had to get his hair brushed, and had a good fight, but it was harder than it should have been, even though he stopped due. So he was. I think that was the beginning of him. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. My real leaks in his boat when I seen that it was joking was when he fought Paulie Maldonado. That fight right there. Like when I seen that, I was like, "Let's do we destroy Paulie."
Mm-hmm.
Like so, it could have been the first bag of money, but I don't know what responsibilities he had. He was young, and people got to always remember. And it's wrong to compare him to Floyd. People got to realize it's like comparing Kobe rings to LeBron's. You can't. Look at the system Kobe came into. He came into the house that Michael built.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Opposed to Floyd, at the end of the day, he came into the game, but he's from a boxing family. He had a boxing, you know what I'm saying? Uncle that was a champion that was in Vegas. So that stuff plays a major part of people helping with your career, opposed to you being the person that is the man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure he wasn't raised by a champion or, you know, brought into the system and a champion. It's like he kind of was learning on the job, like LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, me personally being 43, I don't never talk bad about the young man because he's young and I wasn't in that position when I was young.
Right.
You know, I just wish he just take his stuff to the furthest level, because this is a short sport. You know, you gotta think these people that everybody acting like prospects really is by 30, Sugar Ray was a shell of himself to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By the time he was 30 years old.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
So it's like people keep forgetting it. I'm like, no, people being 37, 28 and 29 and 27, I'm like, no, this is your prime. This is the best of y'all. Mm-hmm. So I hope he can get it in, because people be forgetting that this is how good he have to be, that these other fighters are covered in making names, and they're his age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not over for him if he gets serious. He won great performance of being there. He's supposed to be a pay-per-view fighter.
He's probably still the closest one to pay-per-view right now. I mean, you put Adrien Broner into any pay-per-view right now, and it does more numbers than anybody else. I don't see anybody else doing bigger pay-per-view numbers than Adrien Broner at all.
Hey, let me ask this. Well, you know, he is a sellable talent. I agree with that. Even with the losses, he's a sellable talent. But let me ask you guys this. Who do you see in this crop today? And Ben, we've talked about this. I guess this is actually more for you, Stacey. And when you look at the crop of fighters around today, who do you think has the potential to be that guy who could sell some talents with the personality and the talent to back it up?
A certain person I was conversating with this about, because I used to be honest, I don't know if nobody want to be a star. You know, people might be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think, Floyd wanted to be a star. Floyd wanted to be a star from the beginning. You know, our family flashy. That's what he was meant to do. From the people I see, and this is crazy. I see. You talking about a black man or just a boxer?
Just
boxer.
American,
Boxer.
American fighter. We're gonna say American.
All right, let's do that.
Ryan Garcia want to be a star. I don't know if he has the talent, but he wants to be a star. I mean, you know, he's still young, and you never know what road they'll take him down. It's all about the right people around him. But
let me throw a name out to you.
I think
I want to get you
to be a star.
Tank. You know what? Tank, I think, could be.
Mike Tyson way. It had to be a Mike Tyson way.
Well, you know
His
what?
story is worth $1 million. I don't know if he can, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Let me throw a name out. I want to get your opinion on this. This is a guy that I think if he continues to win with his personality, he can present the good and the bad. Deontay Wilder, what do you think about that?
No.
No.
You know why? The reason I say that is because he has no promoter, man. Deontay Wilder need to hook up with Floyd Mayweather, man. And this sounds crazy. He needs to have a name. He works too hard promoting himself.
Okay, but here's the thing. No, well, you know what? I agree. He's starting to make a few more rounds. I'm seeing him on a couple of these shows.
That's interesting. Now, I don't think Tyson Fury is going to be easy as y'all think. So we'll talk about that after we take care of that business.
Hey, you in the right company because we all feel the same. But then again, I didn't think Luis Ortiz was going to be easy. And honestly, in some respects, I wasn't a believer. He made me a believer. That dude fought a hell of a fight.
See, but let me tell you something about Ortiz, though. See, I'm going to mess you up, though. This is the difference with Ortiz. Ortiz, even though he did it, guess what? He be holding that pistol back, too. To me, he's the best heavyweight softball I've seen. Maybe you can give me a different name, but to me, he's technical, but
I'm with
sometimes that dog won't come out of him. I noticed that. He take it when he can get it, if it's there. That dog won't come out of him though all the time. And then he ain't no young man, but and I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna make a pick on that, but that gypsy boy and all that, I ain't gonna lie, I just don't want to bet against them gypsies, man. You ever seen the movie Snatch, man? They tricky, man. Him and Andrea too, man. Andrea got a problem on his hands too, man.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I do know is, what's his name? Billy Joe Saunders. Was that true? Did he really throw a chicken at that man?
Well, from what I heard, it wasn't a chicken. It was either a bottle or a chair that hit a bottle and then the bottle broke. So there's conflicting stories, but I'm pretty sure it was a bottle because.
And that's some disrespectful stuff, man.
Yeah, that's. I'm just trying to figure out how he even knew he was there. Like, how did you just show up and know Deontay Wilder was at this restaurant? That's just kind of funny, but that's a totally different
because they was in that country. They called him, man, just the same way we go to the grocery store and then there's a million people in the grocery store.
That's true.
Right there.
That's true.
But I think, man, like, no, I ain't gonna lie. I like Deontay Wilder. Though. I like the person he is. I just like him, man. And he excited for boxing. And let's just be real. Let's do the number. I think, am I correct? Is he the lowest paid heavyweight champion ever?
I don't know if he's the lowest paid heavyweight champion
I think he
ever.
Is. I think he is the one that had the WBC. Yes, I believe he is. Like, not ever. I'm talking about since we've been alive.
I mean,
you gotta think it haven't been one in so many. Think about who the last person at the WBC that was an American. Then that's gonna answer your question. Who? Mike Tyson? Holyfield?
Yeah, might have been Holyfield.
You're going back to that era. Yeah.
And there's no way you're gonna tell me that Holyfield was more marketable than Deontay Wilder.
No way in hell.
Holyfield had a promoter.
Yeah. You know what? That's a damn good point. Well, you know what? For so long, America didn't have a good dominant heavyweight. So with the reintroduction to the American heavyweight in the market, I just think, honestly, these guys now don't really know how to package that, which is crazy because I really think he has the personality to get you there. Like, I've seen different levels to him. He could sit down and talk regular life stuff. He could get flamboyant. There's levels to his personality that I think could sell him. We haven't had a talent at heavyweight in America like that in a minute, man. We haven't.
And ain't nothing wrong with that, but I learned this from my cousin one time. He speaks from the heart, and sometimes in this day and age, it's difficult to do that because people frown upon the truth. He's an honest guy. He gonna tell you his truth, and that's not something that the world want to pay people to do. I hate to say it, but
hey, well, you know what?
Like Arrow, I think Arrow will be successful because Arrow had that skill and thing that his demeanor. Arrow Smith's demeanor is so calm that people are gonna do all the talking for him. They're gonna promote him for him. But I don't know, man. Like, oh, I hate to say this, but it's looking like Eddie Hearn's, man, making the money over there, man, with the heavyweights.
Well, that's because boxing is a different game across the pond than it is here. That's all.
But guess what? He actually promote him though.
Yeah, well, it's how hard is it to promote in a country that takes boxing that serious?
Okay, let's take it a different way. Let's take it to UFC. Dana White promoting the shit out of it.
Yeah, but they're not really.
That's why they sold it for a bunch of money.
Yeah, but they're not really doing that good either. Their pay-per-view numbers are down. Like they're not really.
They sold it though, didn't they?
I mean, yeah, but you can, but you can do. It depends on your definition of selling. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, they promotion. To be honest, they don't seem like they doing no promotion. Then you right. I mean, I guess it's a self-promoted business, but to me, I think the person that can be a star is the person that want to be. But the question is, who do you think want to be? I think Deontay Wilder wants to be.
I think Deontay. I
think he believes he's a huge star.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the key. I think a lot of fighters out there, and I've actually asked multiple fighters in several interviews, is it important for you to be a star? And a lot of them tell me, no, I'm good. Just keep them checks coming. I'm good. Like a lot of them don't really want to be stars. They just want to make sure they're getting a paycheck.
Like Deontay Wilder, I don't know if he wants to be a star, but I believe that.
I believe he does.
He wants to be respected as the best fighter in the world. He want to be the king.
Right.
He's a heavyweight. He want to be the king at WBC. So I believe that. But then again, I also believe that he is a family man. So it's like, everybody keeps saying Floyd. I'm like, no, it takes a certain type of individual to do that. He don't have that. He don't have that to be that.
Right.
I don't think that's what he wants to be. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants to be respected for he can lead people down a different type of path, with his beliefs.
Right. How many pay-per-view buys do you think Wilder versus Fury does?
What country?
The U.S. The
U.S.
U.S. Strictly U.S.
350.
That's what I think.
I say about 350.
That's what I think. About 350.
Which I think is,
that's good for your first pay-per-view.
1,000.
I don't think that's bad at all for a first
pay-per-view. They would do 350. And if they do it right, I think it'll do 350 because I ain't gonna lie. To me, the Wilder and Joshua, this debacle that's going on, I think that actually helped.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of more people gonna be like, wait a minute, who? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might have helped. I think it'll do 350. I mean, if it don't, I think that'll be bad.
That would be very bad.
I mean, he's a heavyweight. I mean, it's like this is what I wanted to ask y'all because maybe y'all know. Like when what's the name numbers do good, is that because of the other countries is promoting it more, like Canelo and Triple G? When they do decent numbers, is that because other countries is promoting it more, or do they have more support in the States?
No, when they do whatever numbers they do in the United States, it's because of those are United States
US
numbers.
Promotion.
Like Mexico, they have their entirely different pay-per-view. Same thing with the UK. They've got Sky Sports over there. They handle their pay-per-view. So they actually do different numbers in their respective countries. But here in the United States, Canelo is doing the type of numbers he does because he has American fans that are buying that pay-per-view. So if he does if Canelo Golovkin does 1 million pay-per-view buys, it's because there are 1 million, fans here in the United States that wanted to see Canelo versus Golovkin. So
I don't think, just to throw it out there, I don't think that fight, the rematch does anywhere near those numbers though.
You don't think it does 1 million?
Hell no.
Wow. I think it does.
No.
1.2.
No.
I think it matches it. It might
What y'all got
go a
on this?
little bit over, like a point. It might go a point over.
Guys, look,
As much as I'm talking stuff about it,
fellas, I'm gonna throw. What did the first one do?
I forget. I think it was $1 million though, wasn't it?
No,
Or was it 900,000?
No.
Okay,
Fellas, let's pull it up, because let me tell you, man, and I was mentioning this point before.
1.3.
1.3.
1.3.
They did 1.3.
They did 1.3.
Yeah, I knew they did over $1 million.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think they do better. I think they do better this time because you got to think.
Okay.
You gotta think last time they fought,
1.3, yeah.
But you got to think that's not bad coming right off of Floyd and McGregor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was coming off of Floyd and McGregor.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just a couple weeks later. Good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think
so. A lot of people didn't spend a lot of money that time. A lot of people didn't spend a lot of money. A lot of people spent a lot of money on that Floyd McGregor fight. You know, that was an event.
That was an event.
I heard fighters say, "Man, I'd rather go see this fight, but I got to be at this fight."
That was a crazy event. That was a hell of a bankroll.
That was fun, man. Yeah, that was the first time my cousin fought, man, and I wasn't nervous at all.
At all. At all. You could actually enjoy it. Yeah, I think they'll do better. Fun, I think they'll do 1.4, 1 point, I mean 1.5 I think is stretching it.
I think they might hit 1.5.
But yeah.
I mean, because it was a good fight. It was a good fight, so it was a good fight, and it's intriguing. I really do want to see what's going to happen next fight.
And I think
it was a fair draw.
Right. You know what? Though here's the thing: Canelo will find himself in the same situation again if he doesn't. Like I don't know. I don't necessarily want to say stamina. He got to keep the pressure on. When he was being aggressive,
man. Let's just be honest here, man. Can I be real?
Please.
Can I be real on the podcast? We all know that man needed a knockout, man.
Who, Canelo?
You think? No.
Man, we all know Triple G needs a knockout.
Triple G needs a knockout.
If Triple G did not knock him out, man, they is not giving him that fight, man. He's 36 years old.
I thought you were saying the other way. No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
No way. Triple G better knock him out or down or beat him down. Or it is over. Let's just be. I'm gonna be real, man. I can't hold back no more.
Yeah. I agree.
Everybody knew it was gonna be a rematch. Because guess what? They're gonna do 1.5, but man, I'm waiting for the next person with him. Who's gonna be the next fight to do 1.5? Errol Spence with him?
Nah.
Who we gonna fight next?
No.
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably Golovkin a third time.
I'm telling you, Canelo win a close one, and they get one more going, man. Ooh, they walk away. I mean, I ain't even saying they hustling. I mean, like, if it's close.
No, they can't.
I wanted to be over with. I hope somebody get hurt real bad this time, man.
Yeah, I don't really want to see him fight a third time.
Not hurt like that. I'm talking about like knocked out and then woke up the next day with a black eye, but not hurt like that. No. But
happy to those knockout fights with him.
Yeah, I tell you, Canelo could potentially do numbers with Billy Joe Saunders if Billy Joe Saunders does a number on Demetrius. But outside of that, I have no idea who he could potentially fight and make that kind of.
How you see that fight, my man? How you see the Andre Billy Joe Saunders?
I think Andre got his work cut out for him. He's another one of those guys who he's kind of in my doghouse right now, man. Talented guy, but we never get out of him what we think we can, kind of thing. Like I haven't seen out of him what I feel he's capable of doing, if that makes sense. So maybe this
he
is
ain't been pushed yet.
And exactly. In all fairness, this could be the fight to help us see that. But
right, because I want him in the mix.
Cut out for him.
I'm definitely happy for him because he's in the mix now. I'm like, okay, because he's a dude I heard a lot, but like you say, I heard a lot from and different Instagram beefs. There you go with that Instagram again, and Instagram beefs and stuff. But I don't see him in the mix. But maybe that was due to who was he with originally?
I think he was with. I think it was like Star Boxing, but it was like a joint. Yeah. I think it was a joint. It was Star Boxing and Guardia.
Yeah, maybe he was in a situation he couldn't get the fights he wanted.
He was. It was.
Well, you know what? Actually, though, you know when he went in my doghouse, this was a fight he could have gotten, and it ended up not happening. And I think he had more to do with that. The who was it? Ben? Was it the Charlo fight?
Yeah, he could have fought Charlo. He could have fought
Yes, he
Charlo.
could have had that fight
Yeah.
and wiggled his way out of it and had some cockamamie excuse that I didn't think was cool. And he hasn't done anything ever since. That's been a couple years now.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
he
we need to see a little bit more out of Andre.
I think
Straight up.
that's
Yeah, this fight is
I think that's the danger of this fight is that he just hasn't been active fighting that level of competition in a long time. You know,
and to me that stuff means something.
it does. It means
That
a lot.
means something, man. Like
Yeah.
it means something because like I was telling people, like when you see two elite fighters fight, like Canelo and what's name, I mean, this is for like us, people that love the sport. It's a treat for us, but for a casual boxing fan, they like what they doing, like, but they elite, you know. Usually elite fighters don't slaughter each other. It's a whole different fight game. It's a whole different game plan. It's a whole different type of power and velocity and trickery. And like Floyd once told me, everybody I ever fought, man, as a champion, man, they deserve to be there, man. You have to be in there. They got there for a reason.
Right.
Like
He got there some way. Yeah, he always said that. You're right.
and I believe that because like Pacquiao to us, I'm like, man, this look kind of easy. Like, no, that dude, I understand why he beat a lot of people. He real tricky. But you know, he coming from a fighter perspective, so he's seeing it. So like when you ask that question about Broner, I'm like, man, I can't really answer it because I don't know what he see. I mean, me personally, when I seen him, it's like he see himself.
Right.
And he's seeing himself too much. That's what I think his main issue is he likes to watch his work. He trains like he spars. He fights like he trains. So it's almost like that's probably why Donna came on him so quick because he's so comfortable doing, like you said, not being busy. It's a comfort zone for him. So I don't know. It's like somebody said, well, what about him and Danny? I'm like, I don't know if I would want to see that fight because I don't know who would engage.
You know what?
Actually,
There's another guy, Danny Jacobs. If he did a little bit more, which he
Garcia
has the ability to. Okay. I'm talking. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going in a different
Danny
direction.
Jacobs. You're right. I ain't gonna lie. He gun shy, man. If you got some power, man, he gonna fight a different fight, man.
Yeah, well, see, I think I was going to say the relative to Danny Jacobs. I think if he would have kept his foot on the pedal, he could have decisively beat Golovkin.
I believe that, but I'm gonna tell you some real stuff, man. That shit hot in there, man. That is smoke is throwing in there, man. And see, he was doing that until he got hit, man. Dude, he did good, but man, to be honest, he did good. But if you really watch it, let me see, like his demeanor of when he was doing it, it looked like he was fighting him off of him, not being defensive. Opposed to Canelo, looked like he was bouncing around, catching him with good, clean shots, and then getting out the way as he should. It's like what's his name was more like, no, let me get away from you, man, and let me touch you to stay away from us.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, I gotta eat, man. I'm getting hungry.
Kicking it with you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Stacey.
Yeah, good stuff, Stacey.
We're gonna we're gonna bring you on much more often, my man. I love getting your insight, your knowledge. We haven't even really touched on a tenth of the info that you got. So I appreciate you coming on for sure. V, I don't know when we're gonna go live again. Who knows? If there's a big announcement this week, we'll definitely jump on again. And yeah, Stacey, I'll keep you in the loop, bro, and let you know when we're going on, and hopefully you can join us again.
Oh yeah, you gonna see? I'm gonna know when you're on. You see, you pop on my screen. I got you on all my phones. Don't even trip.
I know, but I gotta at least give you a heads up.
So I mess with you, man. Where I mess with you?
Huh?
I mess with you. I like all the boxing channels. The only boxing channels I don't be cool with is I don't like them haters, man. Besides that, I love the boxing stuff.
Yeah.
But the haters got to stop. The hate got to stop.
There's a lot of haters out there, brother. There's a lot of haters.
It's bad enough. It's bad enough. All like I said, I want to tell you thank you because of you and these different stuff that y'all doing on your own with your own money. That's how we hear about boxing. And people don't understand that. They go for the boxers too. Y'all got to understand that this is y'all engine. ESPN ain't pumping y'all up. They is.
Yeah.
Throw them shout outs, man. Get them followers. Call here, get on interviews. Let your voice be heard. Because it's all about business. I've never in my life heard of a basketball player mad at a damn a publicist.
Right.
I'm yet to hear that.
Right. And boxing
because
is
we all got
different,
a job to do. And they get a check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
it was
funny.
definitely good kicking with y'all, man. I'm finna be up to no good, and I can't be on camera doing that. So see y'all later, man.
All right, Stacey, I'll hit you up, bro.
Yeah,
All right,
good
peace.
stuff, fellas. Take it out.
Yeah,
Ladies and gents
yeah.
out there, be good. We'll be back.
All right.
For sure.